All right, this chapter focuses on what I call a self-assessment, meaning you internalize the whole home searching process. Just close your eyes and imagine what you really want, what you really need, and if there's something out there that will match what you want. So let's get through it. The first thing is money, income. Okay, where you're at now, what your projected promotions, bonuses are down the line, what is your monthly income. These are all very important factors. And ideally, just as a rule of thumb, this is super like non-scientific, petua, we call it. Your maximum budget should only be 1/3 of your monthly repayment. And what I will suggest is monthly net, means like all in. This includes, let's say, for example, you're servicing the loan, you're paying for your maintenance fee, you're paying for your, for example, your house insurance, you're paying for your the loan that you got to service your renovations. This should be all in that 1/3, because the 2/3 you really need for your day-to-day, your savings, so on and so forth, your day-to-day expenses. And I am using this 1/3 rule, maximum budget, in general for, like, let's say if you're earning an average income, maybe not more than 100 to 150,000 per year. But of course, if you are earning beyond this, then this doesn't really apply to you, because it then becomes disposable income, which is a different set of formulas to adhere to. So keep that in mind. Second thing is the needs. Needs means you definitely need this space because your personality is like that, or your family is like that. And these are the kind of spaces that you need for your activities indoors. Okay? How many rooms do you need? Do you travel often? If you travel often, maybe you just need a small studio. Don't get such a big space, otherwise you have to clean a lot. Are you planning to have kids? Many kids? Something to consider. Visitors, in-law, any of your family members have special needs, then you need to look at the property, the accessibility, whether it's convenient for you or not. Like myself, I'm a workaholic. I work a lot at home when I'm not out. So I love a home office. Like right now, I'm living in a rental apartment. So it's literally like a table in the living room. Not the most ideal situation, but of course, make the best of what you have. Sometimes many guys, they want to build your man cave with your PlayStations or your model toys. You do need space for that. Okay, if you have someone in the family who's very good at cooking, don't buy like a high-end apartment with a teeny tiny little kitchen. You will regret it, because the ventilation is bad. And imagine frying your fish and then your bedroom smells like fried fish for the rest of the night. It's just very unpleasant. So these are the things to think about. You can pause, write it first, and then continue the video. Now I'm going to go to the next section. Okay, shared space. I just mentioned earlier. Do you love to cook? Extra space for hobby? Okay, and living room. This one is a bit of a funny one, because like myself, I don't really watch a lot of TV, so I feel like I can use the living room for, and other spaces, or just for welcoming my guests. But the rest of the living room, ideally, it could be like my library or my mini workspace. Okay, next one is regards to wants. Wants means it's something that is nice to have, but you don't need it. Okay, for example, if the place is close to public transportation, then that's a bonus. Sometimes you might have to pay a premium for it because it's close to LRT or MRT. If you have bought a second-hand property or sub-sale, you can ask the owners, hey, where is your parking bay? What is the experience walking to your unit, assuming it's a condo or high rise? If you like it, maybe consider it. If not, then don't. What's the school zone like? What's the entertainment outlet like? Is it a gated community? If you like nature, let's say gated and guarded, is the landscaping, is it well groomed, well taken care of? If not, you wouldn't want to see that for 10 years after you buy that property. If you're a Muslim, is it convenient to get to your surau? Very important also. And then last but not least is the living, banking and grocery situation, day-to-day living. You don't want to be, buying a property that is very far, though now you have like Grab Food, Food Panda and all that. But I've come to learn that, for a lot of people, it still can't beat the experience of going to your local grocer and picking up fresh ingredients by yourself. So these are all the ones. Again, you can pause this now and list down what's important to you before you go to the sales gallery or shop online to find a home that might match what you want. Next, the neighborhood itself. This one is more for like if you go to a sales gallery and then the salesperson will promote you. This one only 10 minutes to KLCC. This one only 10 minutes to this international school or that highway, or there's banks nearby. You never mind. Um, don't get pressured into buying something. Actually, if they say that, what I would do is I will actually take a drive to the actual site, even if it's under construction, right? And drive to that point. Sometimes I even film it with my, like my little car camera, just to have a feel of it. And also, one more thing is in preferred neighborhoods, what are the amenities there? Really go and experience the place yourself, maybe in the weekend, and then find out the average price per square feet of that place to know whether, it's an expensive place or not. For example, you can buy a condo at on average, the price could be between 500 to 700 ringgit in urban areas in Klang Valley. That's kind of the average price. But if the price per square feet of that condo is like, let's say 800 to 1,000, then obviously you are paying a premium, which means if you pay maintenance fee, you are also paying at a premium. If you choose to buy a Soho, then your utility bills, electricity bill, is considered a commercial rate, which is more expensive than, a residential rate. So these are the kind of things that you really need to factor in. Next, so after finding out your needs, your wants, and your income, this Venn diagram right in the middle would be your sweet spot. And this is called your killer list. These are the things where, you kind of have it in your head ready. And then once you start shopping, you will have so much more clarity as to first whether you can afford it or not, is a good price or not, location okay or not. I promise you this because I go through this process myself before I bought my first home. But buying might not be such a good idea in the near future. You can rent. What I've read is that if you actually move around a lot and you don't plan to buy the home for your own stay as your first home, right? It's actually more affordable to rent because when you buy, you have to, the property needs maintenance, you need to fix, you need to repair things, you need to service your loan, interest, you need insurance. It's a lot of things that you need to pay for. Whereas when you rent, you just pay the rent and then that's it. You could even share with your friends. So your cost of living is actually lower. But if you want to buy a property for a long term, more than 10 years, maybe it's more worth it. But you also have to look in your personal circumstances. For example, maybe you want to have a lot of children. For example, you want to have many babies because you like to have a big family. Then maybe rent first, and then as things get better, your job gets better, then only buy. um, or if you want to start your own business, you have to take into account, all these expenses that you will incur, or you want to further your studies. These are the kind of big decisions that will really impact your financial situation. And yeah, you just have to weigh it out yourself. So I'm just going to go back again. What is your dream home, and what is your future? This is kind of like, what is your future in the near future, like 5 to 10 years, right? And then don't forget, the next thing you need to look into is how you decide to spend your income after you have, your balance. Just understand Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. But essentially, I'm gonna break it down this for this home ownership purposes: asset and liability in simple terms. Flashy car. If you decide to buy like a Mercedes or BMW, 2 to 300,000, as soon as that car leaves the the showroom, the price of that car, because it's a liability, drops 10% immediately. And then after 3 years, it will lose about 40 to 50% of its value. Whereas an asset, the price of a property can continue to gradually climb if you know what you're buying and the potential for it to appreciate. Okay, so just take note of this as well, because it's a really important decision. Otherwise, you might face a lot of issues getting a loan. Okay, and then I believe this is the last slide for this chapter, a really simple one. Prepare your checklist: income, needs, private space versus shared space, your wants, the neighborhood that you like, buy or rent. If you decide to buy, then it's time to go and watch the next chapters. If you decide to rent, then maybe you can just look at options out there. And yeah, that's it for this video. Let's jump on to the next episode.